Hello and welcome back to MakeFest 2022. Today we are joined by Paul Quigley from Norton Priory. Hi Paul, how's it going?
Morning, it's fine, thank you. Yeah.
Fantastic. So what are we going to be doing today, Paul?
Today we're going to have a go at making a small willow bird feeder that you can hang in the garden. This will take a fat ball and then you can add it to your feeding station.
Fantastic.
So that's what we're going to aim for.
Looks amazing. Brilliant. So this strikes me as this is probably not the first time that you've done this, Paul. How long have you been making willow bird feeders for?
I'd say with the willow about 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So and it's a popular activity with different groups. We've done it with community groups. We've done it with schools. So it's a little bit of a knack to start off, but once you're in the swing of it, you'll be fine.
I'm about to say it's my first time doing it, so I'm expecting probably a slightly better one with the 10 years of experience over there. But hopefully we'll show everyone that you can get involved in it. And you're saying this is open to a wide range of abilities. Is there any particular age range or anything like that for doing it?
To be honest, I've done it with practically every sort of age range that we have. Obviously, the younger children need help, but you can still do it.
Fantastic.
And it's a nice family activity as well. We've done it a lot of times at different groups. We used to have a wildlife group, like a little meet every month.
Yeah.
And they used to do them quite regularly.
Brilliant.
So we've made.
And so I can see on my table here, I've got a few tools with me today. Do you want to talk us through what we need to get started?
So first thing is we're going to need some willow. This has been cut this season. So it's fresh. It's known, which confuses things a bit, it's known as green willow. And the reason it's green, because it is being cut this season, which means it's flexible. So you've got several weeks where you can actually use this while it's still got that flex in it. After that, it will harden off, and then if you need to, or you'd want to use it, you have to soak it in water for a few days. So we're quite at the point where you can still use it without soaking it. So
is it seasonal then, willow?
It is really. The season starts for cutting it anyway around November through to about March. Although March might be depending on the season really. Yeah. So if it's quite warm, and you've got several weeks while it's still in this green, fresh, flexible mode. After that, we would have to soak it, like I say. This is a variety called Flanders Red, which is a bit hard to see under the light, but it has got a red tinge to it.
Definitely at the end.
Which is quite a nice willow to use.
Fantastic. And so is this come directly from Norton Priory?
No, not this one. I've actually bought this in, so this is from Somerset.
Fantastic.
So you can buy it online.
I'm about to say, so if someone's watching this and wanting to give this a go, it's relatively easy to get hold of?
It's very easy to get hold of.
Yeah.
You can go just search the internet. There's quite a few suppliers. What you could do though, you could look in the garden and see if there's any other things in the garden that you could use.
Similar.
So things like dogwood. If you're cutting that at the moment, that's quite flexible. Or see if you've got little bits of willow growing on a tree in the garden that you could cut off and just try.
Fantastic. All right, brilliant.
So that's what we need to start off with. We need our willow. We also need a little base plate. So I've drilled 5 holes in this. I've numbered them obviously 1 to 5. And that's going to be our little jig that we're going to use to make our bird feeder.
And is this from years of experience? You've kind of figured out what numbers, which one, and how far to go away, and things like that.
Again, sort of. You can actually go online and have a look, and it'll give you the size for the willow and that.
Fantastic. All right. So it's looking relatively straightforward.
That's our little jig. So to start off with, I did say this is green willow, so freshly cut, so it's flexible. But what I do before I start is we sort of warm it up a bit. So if you get your thumbs on it and just give it a gentle bend and work your way up. And it just means that when we're bending it, it's a little bit more. And you can feel how flexible it is while you're doing this. So we'll just warm the willow up a bit.
Warm the willow, get it. And we are a bit cold in here today, so it does need warming up, I think.
And I forgot to mention, we've got 5 pieces of willow, all roughly the same height,
Yeah.
and all roughly the same thickness. So that's important when we're bending it.
So we want to, when we're choosing our willow, if we get it, we're buying it in, we want to make sure try and choose ones that are the same level. Or could you cut them down if they're a bit bigger and things like that?
You could cut them down. If you're buying it, you normally buy it in different lengths.
In lengths.
They sort it for you, so that's ideal.
Fantastic. All right.
Right, so we've warmed our willow up. The next thing we need to do is, and I've already done this bit, I've trimmed off the edge so that we've got a nice, neat, flat edge. You can probably see. Yeah. I've done that with the secateurs.
Fantastic.
Right.
Nice straight edge. Lovely.
And then what we're going to do is stick the willow into our holes. You need to give it a good push in so that they stand up.
Need to really get in there.
We don't want them coming out while we're actually doing it. So that's it. I might swap that one. Right, so we should have 5 all standing up. Right, now, this is where, it doesn't matter how many times I do this, it always causes a bit of confusion. And people say, it's me. I don't think it is. Right, but let's see what you think.
All right, let's go for
it. We're going to start with number 1.
Right.
So number 1 willow is there.
Yeah.
Number 1, we're going to bend number 1, and we're going to bend it over to number 2. And I always say we're going to put it behind number 2. But other people say it's in front. But what it needs to be is, as you bend it, it should be that side.
Oh yeah, that's what I would say behind this. Yeah. But
yeah.
They're all wrong, Paul. You're right.
I think they are, sure, but people would disagree with you. Now, while we're doing this, the best way to know that you've actually got the sequence right is you should be able to hold it down with a finger each time we do something.
Okay.
So number 1 has gone to number 2.
Yep.
Number 2 is going to go to number 3. And again, it's going to go to the side of it.
I would say this one, I'm thinking inside or outside.
Yes,
inside. The inside of number 3. Fantastic.
Brilliant. And again, you should be able to hold it down with one finger.
Yeah.
Oh, you've got it, Sean. You've got it. Number 3 is going to go to number 4. And again, it's going to be on the inside.
Inside.
And again, we can hold it down with one finger. Brilliant.
Yeah.
And you can see the sequence that we're getting. You're trapping the one. So number 4 is going to go to number 5, and that's on the inside again.
Yeah, you kind of start seeing the pattern, don't you?
Yeah, the pattern starts to form quite quickly. Number 5 is always a little bit of a problem for people because it's working out. But number 5 is going to go to number 2. It's going to lay on top of it. And then what you're going to do, you're going to bring number 2 up. And what I tend to do is just give it a little bend before you actually do anything. Right? Mm-hmm. And number 2 is going to trap number 5.
Going towards number 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
Going over towards number 3.
Yeah.
And you should be able to hold it down. Yeah,
I've got a thumb. I've got a thumb rather than a finger, but I've still got it down.
You've still got it down. It's still holding it, and that looks good. Right.
Similar thing again for 3.
Similar thing again. So number 3, before you try and twist it over, bring it up first, and just give it a little bend. That's it. You've got it.
Yeah.
And then carefully over to number 4.
Okay, yeah, I think I've got it.
Then number 4 comes up. And again, can you see the sequence? It goes
Yeah.
over, trapping number 3, and it goes to number 5.
Oh, got to be careful of your eyes.
Yes,
with this.
you do. I should have mentioned that when we do it with groups, I always get them to wear safety glasses because if you've got a large group, especially when what happens is people suddenly get it and then start whizzing their way around it, and the willow's flapping everywhere.
Yeah.
Right, so number 5 again comes up, traps that one, and goes over to number 2.
I nearly took out our roving camera then.
Right, and again, bend it up first before you bend it over. Give it a little bit of a wobble, and then over and trap it again. It looks like you've got the sequences.
I feel like I'm getting there. Yeah. I feel like it's slightly kind of twisting it.
Yes,
as
we want that twist in it, and then you just carry the sequence on, trapping the one you've brought up each time.
Yes. All right.
And you should see it starting to spiral up.
Yeah, I'm starting to get that definitely there on the ones that we've done a couple for. So you see, it's just getting that wobble right, isn't it, on them when you're wanting to bend it over, so it traps the one underneath it. So Paul, I've known you for a number of years now, and but I don't actually know what's your kind of official title at Norton Priory, because I know you as the guy that does everything, lots and lots and lots of different things at Norton Priory.
Official title is Wall Garden Ranger.
Wall Garden Ranger. That's a pretty cool title.
It is.
Yeah.
But to be honest, it's a small team, so it's whatever needs doing really. So I'll work in the garden, I'll do community work, schools. One of the big things about working at Norton Priory, it gives you the chance to do things that you wouldn't normally get to do.
Yeah.
So we've done things like, we built a straw bale classroom, I make charcoal in the summer.
I think that's one of my favourite things whenever I see kind of like Norton Priory is not just kind of like the Priory and everything that's going on there, but how much you use the resources that are at the Priory that are naturally kind of growing and part of it as well. It's always great to see there always seems to be something new as well. It always feels like you've got that great kind of combination of having these things that you've been doing for a while, but also
with new things
developing.
Happening.
Well, that's great.
So how are you getting on? Is it coming?
I think I'm
looked it from here.
I think I've got it down. Yeah. I've been practicing all weekend, really. But I'm like, obviously here at Mako, we do a lot of digital provision. But I'll be honest with you, there's something really nice about getting your hands, not dirty with Willow, but really kind of getting in there and crafting
really
something.
Is. I think of all the things we do, is working with community groups, schools, is actually making stuff. People really enjoy making stuff.
Definitely. I think something like, especially using things like Willow, where it's something that you see all the time, and you don't necessarily really think, well, I don't anyway, maybe you probably think about it more than but I don't really ever think about it or what you could do with it. But just seeing something like this, and it's only taken us, like a couple of 5 minutes maybe of tuition here, and I feel like I'm getting somewhere with it and stuff.
It looks good from here.
Oh, you're well in front of me. I'm gonna have to catch you up here.
Well, what I'll do is I'll tie this off. Normally I use Willow, but for today we'll just use a bit of string to tie it off.
So, Paul, I think the first time I met you, it would have been about, I'm thinking it might have even been like 5 or 6 years ago now. And we were doing a video all about the bees that are at Norton Priory, because I remember I was a bit of a heathen. I didn't really know anything about bees, and it was a real eye opener for me in terms of like the amount of types of bees and things like that visit you and things like that. There's a real plethora, isn't there, of different and misunderstanding, I think, around bees. And
I would say there is, but I'm biased. But the walled garden is just like, it's bee heaven, isn't it? So there's that much for them to forage on. And we do quite a lot of work. We've got our own honeybees. We've got about 7 hives, I think. But we work with Liverpool Museum, looking at bumblebees and solitary bees as well. So we've done quite a bit over the years, looking at pollinators generally, really.
And that's interesting. And speaking of the walled garden, I know we do a lot of work with some of the other arts organisations in the local area. I know that Hazelhurst Studios have been there recently doing some different galleries and art that's been
Yes,
inspired by the wall garden. If anyone's not been to the wall garden yet at Norton Priory, I really highly recommend it. A little hidden gem, I think, in Runcorn. I suppose I don't know actually how hidden it is, but it's a great place to go with, either by yourself or by the family and things like that. It's lovely.
Again, I'm biased on it. I would say it is, but wall gardens are magical anyway.
Yeah.
And you've got 2.5 acres filled with herbaceous plants, all varieties of fruit trees, unusual fruits. So it's well worth a visit.
Definitely, and we've got actually one of my more recent visits to the Priory was to see a performance, an outdoor performance that was by A Place to Us, who are actually going to be doing one of our videos with us. It's going to be all around makeup for kind of video and production and things like that. So they're going to be working with the college on it. But I went to see, oh gosh, I'm trying to remember the name of the performance
Electric
now.
Dreams.
Electric Dreams, yeah. It was brilliant. And I know that. So what's it been like kind of introducing things like that to Norton Priory, outdoor performances?
It's been brilliant. And I think it's just what we've needed as well. And visitors have enjoyed it. Electric Dreams, the weather was good.
Yeah.
It was just the right time coming out of lockdowns and that, so it was brilliant.
It was lovely. It was that stage where we were kind of like suddenly allowed to go out again, and you were like, I remember thinking it was this fantastic thing that we'd not really seen before there, but just getting to go out again and see live performances was brilliant.
And also I think feeling, for people to feel safe as well, because it was outdoors.
Yes.
All the things that we've been told to look after, so it was good. It was really good.
It gets a lot easier, the willow making towards the top, doesn't it? Where it's a little bit thinner. I feel like I'm flying through it now. I've got to the. Am I going at this end part here? Do I leave a little gap
from here?
Yeah.
I think you're near the top there. That looks really good from here as well.
I'm pretty proud of it, I'll be honest with you.
For a first attempt, I think that's better than my first attempt, so that's brilliant. So what I'd do is I'd bring those 5 up to so that. And then I've cut a little bit of string for you to tie around the base of them.
Oh yeah, this small part here.
Yeah.
And you were saying that if you were doing this normally, you could actually use willow, willow itself to do it. My Meg can get a close up here on my terrible knot tying abilities. I'm gonna go basic. I was tempted by a bow then, but I'm just gonna go.
The next bit can be the tricky bit. Okay. I think you've done really well there. That is definitely better than my first attempt.
You probably didn't have a great teacher though. But I love this. It looks almost like a strand of DNA or something like that, doesn't it? With that spiral.
We did them as a little demonstration at Southport Flower Show a few years ago, and 2 guys came up and had a go, and then took all the details away. They wanted them as table decorations. So there's lots of different, you can use it for whatever you want, but it's a good way of practicing and getting used to using the willow. And then obviously after that, if you want to, there's lots of courses, there's things online. You can go to basket make, the one I really like is the sculptures, when people make sculptures out of them. That is superb. So we've got that bit. The next bit is we've got to get it off the base, off the little jig. This can be a little bit tricky, so I'll give you some scissors.
Lovely.
If we're careful, and what you do, you just prise. So just use it as a lever.
Like a lever, not cutting anything.
No, just prise it off, using it as a lever.
And will they stay in the right position?
They should do, but you will have one, as in this one here.
Yeah.
That is loose.
That's loose.
And I'll show you what to do with that when you've got yours off.
Ooh.
No, that looks really good.
Yeah, I've got
so you've got your loose one there.
Oh yeah, I've got it.
And what you do is carefully just tuck it under and tie it in. Right, and that should hold it together.
I think I'm in. Lovely.
Brilliant.
Hey.
And that is really good. Like I say, that's better than my first attempt there.
And so so when it's currently like this, but it's going to be,
we're going to hang it like this. The fat ball goes in the top, and we'll do another video to show you how to make a fat ball. And what we could do, again, I sometimes use Willow to do the handle, but for time, we've got some string there.
Lovely.
Tie a little bit of string on.
Any particular point for the string going on?
Not really.
Not really, just
Not
anywhere.
really, just as long as we've got a little loop for you to hang it outside. And obviously we can tidy it up if there's any little bits. Basically that'll hang nicely in the thing. And then it's a personal choice. The long streamers that hang down, sometimes people cut them off. Or they leave them.
It's difficult because when you were holding it up before, I thought it does look quite nice. I could imagine it like
It does. The one in the garden at home, I left the willow on the length of it, and a long-tailed tit landed on there, and I didn't have a camera. And I was like, that would have made a fantastic shot there. So there's our little willow bird feeder, and then a little fat ball can go in the middle there and pop it in the garden.
Fantastic. Let me go. Here we go. I'm done. Ta-da. Lovely. Oh, amazing. Thanks so much, Paul. This has been amazing.
That looks really good. You can see the spiral in it, and that you've got everything right there.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm going to be taking this one home with me. Definitely. Superb. Thanks so much. Brilliant. All right. Well, I'm going to pop it that way around now on the table. So we've got it. This is my sculpture now, I think, rather than a bird. So I believe you're going to be joining us on the day of MakeFest itself as well.
I am. I'm going to come along. We won't do this.
Yep.
What we'll do on the day is talk about pollinators, bees, other insects. There's a little quiz I sometimes do, bee, wasp, or something else. And I have some photographs of different insects, and you have to guess, is it a bee, is it a wasp, or is it another creature?
That was the main thing I remember kind of coming away from. The amount of times you were showing me bees that I thought were wasps. My Neanderthal brain about it. So it was really interesting seeing all the different types that were there as well. So that's brilliant.
So we'll do a little bit like that, and we might. What I do, obviously I take the honey off the bees at Norton, but I collect the wax as well. So we've got some wax, so we'll make some wax candles.
Oh, fantastic.
And people can take a little candle away with them.
Brilliant. So if you would like to learn more about making a wax candle or ask Paul any questions about Willow and the different things that you can do with it, make sure you come down to MakeFest. We are here at Culture HQ, and it's going to be on the 26th of March. Tickets are free, perfect family event. Get as many tickets as you like for you and the family to come down. Loads of other creative events that will be going on the day as well, and you can get them from our MakeFest website. We're going to put a graphic on the screen now that shows you, but all you need to do is go to the home page and then click on get your tickets, and you can register for free tickets through Eventbrite. Thank you very much, Paul. It's been amazing.
Thank you.
And be sure to, if you're watching this video first and you're wanting to find out how to make your fat ball, be sure to check out the other video on YouTube or Facebook with Paul to find out how to make the fat ball that will go inside this Willow maker. Thanks again, Paul. It's been amazing.
Thank you.
See you later, everyone.